Pop, 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 pop. Hello, everyone. We'll get started in a little bit. This will be kind of a chill, somewhat short stream, but we ball, as always. Hello, Beans the Bear. I like that emote. It looks like a mutual friend of ours. I'm gonna mute to tell you which one. Well, of course, I don't want to dox anyone. Howdy, howdy. Then we'll go ahead and switch over to my drawing screen. Every time I say I'm going to switch over to a screen, I keep wanting to say stream, but there we go. We got some chill hop playing today. Let me know if it's coming through alright. I'm looking at my levels and it looks like it is. I'm gonna be drawing some Egyptian gods. You like dogs? You like dogs? I actually fiddle with the placement. There we go. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of decompress from the work week. You like gods? By doing what I do best, well, maybe not best, but doing what I love to do, and that is drawing some cute little guys. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna be continuing my little series that I've affectionately called Osiris and Friends. But basically it's I'm drawing the Egyptian gods, but as cute little dudes. Today's god is Horus. So maybe I should do a little name thingy up here. Today's god. Egyptian god is Horus. God of the sky. And he has a falcon head. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. I already did like a little tiny, teensy tiny sketch. But let's keep on adding to it. Let's add to this little guy. So he does have a falcon head. And that's why I have like this picture over here of like an IRL falcon, specifically one that you would see in like Egypt. And maybe it should be a little small to emphasize the cuteness factor, you know? But the must-have is the big ol' eyes. I kind of like making the eyes very egg-shaped too. Now the question is, should they just be like black? Like that? Oh, no. You know, should they be like shaded in like that? Or should it be like... like he's constantly shocked? Or... it doesn't have to be constantly shocked. You could just be kind of kawaii, kind of cute. Let's play around with it. We'll play around with it. But for one, let's build out them cheeks. Oh yeah, in his like reference picture you can see that he has like human limbs, but I wanted to make him a little bit more falcony, more bird-like. So that's why he's gonna be having some little feathery arms. I wonder if I should also just give him chicken legs too. It's an idea we can play around with. There's this game that people have been playing lately with... Oh, hello, Nyanda Delta. Yes, we are drawing Horus today, the Egyptian god. Will we get Bast one day? Yeah, actually. Let me see who I have in my references so far. I have Amut, Anubis, Nephthys, so I have the siblings plus Amut. But we can have Bast, actually. That'd be such a cute idea. It would kind of look like the emote you just used, the lamb puffs. But yes, actually, how about I... how do I like pause this? I'm gonna go to the BRB screen so I can actually just grab a reference for Bass, just so that I don't forget. But also, hello Nyanda, how are you doing? Today's just gonna be a chill, maybe kind of short stream because I do have a hard deadline in like 2 hours to go to the gym. But until then, we're just vibing. Cool, so Wikipedia has a pretty good Bastet reference. I just gotta make sure it's a little too sharp though. Let me see if I can get a copy. Yes, paste. Oh, it's kind of small, but... There we go. I got a reference for Bass. It's a little pixelated, but you know, it still has kind of like the basic, oh, I accidentally activated Siri. There we go. But I will put her right here so I don't forget. That might even be our next digital art stream. Might just add Bast into the mix. You just finished watching the Alter Junkin collab? Oh, how did that go? Oh, thanks for jumping straight here after. Yeah, how'd it go? I was decompressing from work. I got back from it was pretty hot today. So like I feel like I needed like right after I came back home from work, I needed one of those like afternoon showers. Let me take this. There you go. It was super cute. I saw on Twitter that did Altair, did he want to sell off Axel? But that one picture that Magni drew where it's the Shiba Inu struggling against the leash. Cause I saw that on Twitter. I'm gonna play around with the eyes. I'll see if I want to keep it something like that. Just a guy talking about his hobbies. Aw, cute. And yeah, cool. Hi, Kudaketa. Hello, hello. I'm doing good. Like I said, today was, it wasn't even a tiring day. I didn't even, like, I didn't do any art workshops or nothing today. I think it's just the hot weather. Because, like, the weather has been getting cooler, but suddenly it's way back to being hot again. It's just one of those, the part of Elysium, I guess, where I live. Just be like that. I shouldn't use Elysium if I'm not part of the guild. Well, I have a Tempesona, but yeah, the part of the US where I live, it just be like that, where it'll be like super cold. I was gonna say temperatures, but it's Fahrenheit and I don't know how to like properly translate it or properly convert it. It'll start out really cold in the morning and then it'll get like exceedingly hot in the afternoon. So like I wear a sweater to work, but on the way back home, especially because I use public transportation, I gotta take it off and like wear it around my waist. Which is like such a not first world problem, but it's like such a minor problem, but it's just like, it's so hot. Let's do this for now. He's gonna have little bug eyes at first, but I want to play around with it. Let's play a little bit. And maybe the beak a little bit smaller. Nah, maybe not the bug eyes. Maybe not the bug eyes. Cold has been kicking up too, just for 14 hours. Oh yeah, I remember you said that you weren't feeling well the other day. 14. Well, hopefully the 14-hour sleep was helpful though. Do you ever take any kind of like medication or anything? Like here we have like NyQuil and stuff. The stuff that like knocks you out, but when you wake up when you wake up it's like, oh man, I'm refreshed. I'm alive again. And that, of course, is not, like, endorsement from me to be like, you should really take some medication or anything. You know, like, any way that you heal up is just fine. I'm trying to get the angle. Angle for the beak. Actually, that's kind of cute. Let's keep that. And a little necklace. It looks like he's wearing a bib. He is not wearing a bib. He is the mighty god of the skies. But he's also baby. He's just a little dude. This makes me actually excited for when I draw like Anubis, because it's like because I will also draw him as a just a little dude, you know, little guy. But he's also the god of death and embalming. I want to draw him as derpy as possible. Yeah, I started feeling a bit better after. Probably my fault getting sick. I've also slept very little this past month because League World destroyed your sleep schedule. Oh no. Dang. I hope like somehow you can also fix up the sleep schedule whenever you can. It also depends on when the damn orc streams, right, in your time zone. But I also feel that I had trouble sleeping last night actually. I woke up at 3 in the morning and like couldn't get back to sleep for like a good minute until I eventually fell back asleep. And it's so weird. Do y'all ever feel like nap dreams? Like dreams from no, it wasn't Snackery's fault. I just woke up out of nowhere. I don't really know why. Maybe it's the protein shake I had. So I had for those who don't know, like, you know, I've been talking about going to the gym and stuff. I drink this really yummy Thai tea protein shake after the gym. It's really good, but I don't know if it's also caffeinated. I don't think it is. This is the first time I'm really having like sleeping troubles, but oh yeah, I was gonna say, do y'all ever feel like dreams that you have during a nap or a shorter sleep are a bit more vivid than like dreams in your normal sleep cycle? Because sometimes, like, if I don't have work that day, if it's a weekend or something, you know, I'll wake up early because of our cats, but then I'll fall back asleep. And the dreams I have during that span of time are always so vivid, and like I always remember them a lot more. The dream I had this when I couldn't. Okay, I woke up at 3 in the morning last night, and then I fell back asleep. The dream I had after that was so vivid. I think it had zombies. I hate nap dreams because I actually have to check if that really did happen. Yeah, right? Aren't they a little bit more vivid? I wonder if there's like some kind of like study that like, you know, nap dreams are just like more REM sleep or something like that. I feel like, was it something with zombies? It was like, I feel like my dream was a mix of zombies and like the afterlife. Because I feel like I was being chased by zombies and I was caught, but I don't remember like a violent, you know, death. I just remember like immediately going to the afterlife and seeing other people being like, oh, you died too? Yeah, doesn't that suck? Like, I've heard people say that if you get a crazy dream if you have dark chocolate before bed, but I've never experienced that. Well, the good thing is I don't I don't like dark chocolate. I have the taste buds of a 5-year-old. Never touched this stuff, not the dark chocolate. I only have the sweet stuff. Even though dark chocolate is like so much better for you from what I've heard. Wait, let me see. How did I do the little outfits on the other gods? Sobek? Ah, that's how I did it. Okay. So more of a skirt with some stuff on the side. Not enough sugar. Yeah, I definitely need like sugar. Okay, so let's just make this into like a little bit of a skirt. Yeah, I feel like the nap dreams are very vivid for me. I get really sleepy after eating chocolate. It's actually my midnight snack. Oh! Isn't it one of those things like, you know, that, you know, caffeine technically is a drug, but like chocolate has like trace amounts of it or something like that? I don't know about trace amounts. I need to brush up on my food science. But I think it is one of those things that like people recommend that you don't eat right before bed. Big chocolate is controlling our dreams. That's exactly what I'm saying. Wake up, sheeple. Yeah, that's what I remember from my dream last night. That like there were zombies. I think I got caught, died, got to the afterlife, and it wasn't like heaven or hell. It was just a bunch of confused people being like, "What the hell just happened?" It's almost like dying in a video game, and like instead of reacting like with any kind of sorrow, it's just like, "How the fuck did that happen?" Hey, Mega Bronson, we're talking about nap dreams. We're talking about like. Have you ever like woken up really early but then you fall back asleep, or you take a nap and like that sleep is just for some reason like so much deeper? That's what we're talking about right now. And I was talking about last night I woke up at like 3 in the morning for some reason, but I did manage to fall back asleep, but my dream involved like zombies. Just dropping into stream too, but I wanted to put you. Oh yeah! Oh, thank you. Oh, are you doing the Emily is away stream right now? The Facebook one, or the one that looks like old Facebook? Wait, I need to look at Sobek again. Ah, okay, I see. AIM, man. I mentioned it yesterday, but for work I visited my my middle school today. It was pretty interesting. It was actually really nice too, because I hadn't set foot in there since I graduated, you know. And it just brought back a lot of memories. And I got to get my old yearbook too. Well, not the yearbook from when I graduated. It was like from when I was like a 6th grader essentially. I was looking back on that yearbook, and just being like, oh, I remember these people. Like, I remember some of their faces and names. And it was just, yeah, definitely like a blast from the past. But it reminded me of stuff like AIM. Isn't it a common dream, like dreaming of dying? Never had one, but a lot of people that... Yeah. I think so. It's probably like very common alongside like dreaming of like falling or falling from like a big distance. Oh, you know what? There should be more feathers and stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like but it wasn't necessarily like dreaming of dying. Like I said, it was like, yeah, I did die, but it wasn't like I didn't live. I didn't have like the vivid image of getting torn apart by zombies. It was almost like I was there, a zombie caught me, and then suddenly I'm in the afterlife. Which is probably a good thing. I don't know if how I would have reacted if I dreamt of getting like eviscerated. I do have a relatively common dream because I take public transportation, but it's being late essentially for the bus. And like if that happens IRL, I you get frustrated, but it's not like a life ending thing. New fetish unlock, what the heck? what the fuck does that mean? But yeah, like I keep dreaming of like being late for the bus and missing it, and then like missing it means like that I would be like 4 hours late for work, right? As if IRL I can't just order an Uber or take an alternate bus route. But, like, in my dreams I'm always like helpless. I'm like, oh god, I missed the bus, the next one's not coming for another 4 hours, my manager's gonna kill me. Like, and my manager IRL is just like this really friendly dude. Like, who would be like super understanding if that was the case. But once again, this is assuming that I can't just like call an Uber or just wait for the next bus, you know? Like, because like IRL, I have missed the bus. I'm pretty sure I missed the bus today. Like I could have been home a little bit like 20 minutes earlier, but it wasn't like this life threatening, this like disastrous thing. It was just like, ah, damn it, I have to wait in the sun again. This sucks. How should I do the chest? Okay, the chest is actually like not. I don't want it to look like he's just wearing a shirt. I want it to look like he's got like feathers and stuff. I've dreamt of my Uber never arriving to get to college. I hate getting late to class. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like these stress dreams almost of like never ending up at your destination, but like in real life there's usually some kind of workaround. It's like, oh, I guess I'll just take another bus, or I'll call another Uber, or I'll like install Lyft or something. But I understand the sentiment of like being late to class. It really depends on like if you have a professor or a teacher that is like really, you know, kind of mean about it. In a lot of my college classes, like the teacher just doesn't care as much. Except those like rare teachers, those like professors that treat it like a tardy lockout, which like I don't know if that's also a thing in like other parts of the world, but like they definitely do this in middle school where like a tardy lockout is like the bell rang, you got to get to class, and if you miss it then you essentially get locked out of class and you have to if it's like a middle or high school, you have to pick up trash. If it's college, you just got to go home or like hang around until your next class. Which, like, if you're, like, a professor that, like, abides by that, I don't know, like, what's up, bro? Why? All it takes is one professor to give you a hard time to get... Yeah, that's true. I had one professor that locked the door when the test started. If you were late, you get an insta-0. I kind of remember that. That's what I mean, that, like, if you're a professor... I understand if you're a teacher, you kind of have to do that if you're, like, middle or high school, but if you're a professor, you control the class, dog, like... What's the point of doing a tardy lockout other than just being, like, sadistic, you know? Real life happens, doesn't it? If someone's late because they had to, like, feed their kid, or, you know, just, you know, regular traffic, why you gotta make a big deal out of it? Just waiting for, like, that one professor viewer to be like, actually. His tests were S. Ah, jeez, it was a history class. To be honest though, for the not excusing what that guy did at all, but if you're in the humanities, I kind of like essay tests a little bit better because you can BS a little easier. If it's multiple choice and you didn't study, you're kind of fucked, right? But you know, if you like half paid attention in class, you can like most likely BS something. I like how this is going so far. He looks I kind of like the the look in his eyes. The look of there's not a single thought going on in his head right now. It's kind of interesting with humanities and some science classes. Yeah, I had in college I had a multiple choice. All of my classes, because my major was art history, all of my classes did like essay exams or yeah, like essays or papers or something. And I had one professor that did multiple choice, and it was like the worst class. Cause like, I don't know, you just had to like really study to like get everything. I hated it. Whereas like I said, you can kind of bullshit if you like are only, if you're given like an essay exam and you only half paid attention. I just have this trauma in middle school that a professor scolded you for being late to class for 3 days in a row, and I remember tearing up after that. It wasn't your fault. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean by like real life happens. You know, if you're an adult and you have like a family of your own, for example, like what if you're late because you were like your kid was sick? Or if you're, you know, like in your if you're in middle school, if you're younger, sometimes it's completely out of your control. It really is like family issues, you know, like just some bullshit happened like in your family and like that's why you're late. You know, teachers that kind of like I guess what's the terminology I want to use here, that are kind of anal about that. It's like, why? Real life happens. Yeah, what a mean professor. The mentality of like you gotta pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Like, well, sorry, I'm if you're in middle school, you're like what, 12? Can't drive, and like not every person knows how to ride the bus, you know. Okay, let me start drawing this little like headpiece. I remember when I was in middle school too, I my family wasn't very well off, so we constantly had car troubles because our car was pretty old. And there were days where the car just wouldn't start. So I actually this is actually making me remember, I had a distinct memory of one time I had to get to my school bus stop and the car just wouldn't start. So my dad actually like walked with me on the sidewalk and like tried to hitchhike, essentially, like tried to get someone to like pick me up, and he would be there with me too, but like I just remember like him doing the thumb thing, like sticking his thumb up and like just kind of desperately hoping that someone would stop and like pick me up to like at least drop me off at the bus stop. And someone did. Some kind-hearted individual actually like picked me up, and he got into the car too. He didn't just like let me go with a stranger, but a kind person picked me up, drove me to the bus stop, and then my dad just walked home from there. But I definitely remember that. But oh no, Schneckery's angry. He's just so mad. Back in my day, I was a coal miner working middle school during the day. God. The elders be like that, though. I catch myself doing that, too, though. Back in my day. At work today, like I said, I was at my middle school. I was talking to one of the teachers. I was just checking in before he participated in our program. And he said that there are some kids who just don't take notes anymore. And I was like, what? Why? And he was like, well, like all the resources are on the internet, or like, You know, teachers will post their PDFs and their PowerPoints and stuff. So like some students just don't see the point of taking notes anymore. And I was like, but like the act of taking notes itself, like yeah, you have access to the information, but the act of taking notes itself helps you retain that information. Does it not? I don't know. Like that's how I feel. But my hometown, we don't have buses as public transport. You have to either drive or walk as a 12-year-old in the dark at 6 a.m. So I kind of didn't have another option. Yeah, that's what I mean too. Is that like I'm talking from the point of view of someone that lives in the U.S. and like we have public transport, and the public transport in my area is kind of shit. But at the very least, we have it. It's an option. So if you live in a place that doesn't have like that isn't as accessible, then that's all the more reason for the teacher to like be a little bit more understanding, you know? See, Snackery, he agrees with me. But like private school, so you weren't meant to have family. That is a stupid mentality. That is a stupid mentality. Because it's not like, yeah, you can't always control that stuff. And also people that like, you know, like not, there's like the stigma that if you're in a private school, usually you're a bit more well-to-do, but like that's not always the case. Oftentimes there's also, it's like kind of the college problem too, where like, you know, if you're really low income, you get financial aid, which I was on financial aid. It was very helpful for me. But then there are people who like, they aren't eligible for financial aid, but their parents are also not providing for their college education. So they're kind of at an impasse where like they don't get any money either way to support themselves. Shit's fucked, dog. You know what? I'm just gonna round this out. I still like the look in his eyes. He ain't thinking of nothing. Yes, he is the sky god, but his thoughts are also in the sky. You draw little separations for like his bird fingies. Nothing against parochial schools, but in my experience, they suck. Yeah, just for 2 years? No, that's good. That's good. I've always been to public school, so I don't quite know the experience, but I have taught for definitely like a rich kid school, and I know I've shared stories about it before, but that was unbearable. That's definitely one of those things that, like, you know, if you're talking about like what radicalized you, like that radicalized me. Just thinking that, like, man, these are the people leading our country. Like these rich kids who don't know anything. Not saying all rich kids don't know everything, but I'm talking about like the extremely rich kids who like I had like one good student in that school. I want to say I had like one good student that like understood what critical thinking meant and understood like his privilege and like I don't know how he could make an impact in the world in a positive way using like his influence, his reach. He understood those things, and for that I commend him. But like every other student I taught at that school, man, like if they are the next generation leading a lot of things in this country, then shit. Me before entering that school. I love God. Me after. I hate religion. I don't know why that reminds me of our dearly departed Vesper Noir, where the one stream where it was him and Haka. It was a drawing stream. It was like their magma stream. And Haka was bringing up the whole like vampire thing. And he was like, "Oh, how come you didn't come to church with us that one time?" And Vesper's just like, religion, am I right? And like his delivery stays like rent free in my head. Just the way that he was like, religion, am I right? Yeah. I think Haka followed up with like, "Oh, how come you start sweating when you see the capital T?" And Vesper's just like, "This is a lot of questions, huh? You're asking a lot of questions." That was like my favorite bit when it came to Vesper, was the whole like totally not a vampire thing. Like that was the funniest thing. Now you know what? The armlets make it seem like he's restrained. I don't want him to be restrained. Erase, erase, erase. His wings should just be like that. In fact, I might want them to be a little bit more out. Like so. This one too, let's make it a little bit more swung out. I feel like every other stream I'm like ranting about the weaknesses of the current state of education. But to be fair, there's a lot to say. Education and learning stuff could be really fun for a lot of people, but the way that it's taught makes it so it is not fun. There we go. Let's go ahead and start drawing his crown. His double crown. Because what he's wearing is it's called the double crown of Egypt. Of Upper and Lower Egypt. And the white one over here looks like a bowling pin, and then the other, I think that's one for Upper Egypt, and then the red one is for Lower Egypt. I don't know why it's that shape. I know that the white one is supposed to kind of look a little phallic, like it's intentional. I don't know what's going on with the red one though. You're kind of glad that the kids you met there really grew up to be good people after it. You met them again in high school. Oh, that makes me feel nice. I'm glad. It's really a hit or miss with like the people that you meet when you're still growing up. Because like I said, I got to my middle school, I looked at my old yearbook. And I was just looking at some of the pictures and the names of people, and I was wondering like what happened to them, you know? Like, did they turn out to be really successful? Did any of them turn out to lead not so perfect lives? That kind of stuff. It's kind of sad, but I know at least one person that I went to middle school and high school with that passed away due to, I'll just say, due to drugs, essentially. And like when I saw his picture, it was kind of sad because like it's just like I saw him as like a 6th grader, as like a young child, and kind of knowing like where he ended up it's just kind of sad. But as people say, it is what it is, right? But yeah, some people, through the virtue of social media, you find out that a lot of people did end up, growing up with a good head on their shoulders, head and shoulders. Okay, the bowling pin. The intentionally phallic bowling pin. He looks so goofy. Let me move this a little bit. Maybe a little bigger, actually. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So funny. You were like the excellent kid, and most of them already graduated. Meanwhile, your ass is still in college because of my adventure in med school. Hey, that's fair. It's like kind of reminds me of Haka, right? Like he explored a whole bunch of different paths, right, in life, and did lead to him eventually becoming a VTuber. But I kind of like have a admiration for folks that explore different paths in life. I personally never consider it a waste. Just because I also, like, my path in life was also a bit meandering, if that's the word I can use. Meandered a little bit. Adventures are cool to have, because, like, I know it seems like sometimes that, like, some of that time might have been wasted, or it's like, oh, if I had only, like, stayed to one path, I'd be, like, an XYZ right now. But, I don't know, I feel like every time my path meandered, the information that I gained throughout that time like was useful to me somehow, or at least the experience, because I stayed in the humanities, of course. But I actually like wanted to study psychology when I was entering college for the first time. And I clearly didn't end up studying that. But, like, the short time that I did, like, study a little bit of it was very useful to me. After that, I went into, like, graphic design, which I didn't, like, get a degree in. But, like, just the experience of taking art classes, like, influenced me to, like, get into art history, that kind of stuff. So, for me, at least, like, none of it ever feels like a waste. So, like, even if your adventure in med school, like, even if it might right now seem like well, I don't want to talk on behalf of you. Like, I don't know if you see it as like time wasted or anything, but med school especially, like, I'm hoping, would you say that you came out of that experience with like good information? Because it's like, oh, med school, like you could learn about stuff like anatomy that could come in handy with stuff like art. I always say to my to your IRL friends that med school gave you 3 things: depression, alcoholism, and relationship problems. And you still really love medicine, but not the I get it. I understand what you're saying, that like It's like how I feel about education. Like, I love education as like a concept, and I like everything that it has to offer for like the human race for the next generation. But some of the like bureaucracy of it, some of the logistics of it is like, ugh, why? Like, why? Because, like, you know, like for example, medicine, oftentimes people go into it because they want to help people. But then you got to deal with stuff like big pharma, as they say. Big pharma, or just like you know, like people are complex. Like there's someone that you know, you might be treating that might be faking symptoms just to get like drugs, but that in and of itself is a symptom of like something deeper, right? There's so much complexity to it, but just like having to actually deal with it, it's like can be troublesome. Because, like I said, I keep drawing it back to education, where it's like, oh, I want to be the super understanding teacher that, like, you know, instead of yelling at kids to, like, pay attention, I want to be the kind that, like, understands them and stuff. But, like, in your day-to-day, as much as you want to have that idea and that, like, philosophy in your head, sometimes it's just a bad day. And like sometimes the quickest and easiest way is to just be like talking to the student that's like, hey, why are you talking? Stop talking. As much as you want to be like, okay, I see that you're not engaged. How can I engage you? Like, what are some things that are of interest to you? Like, as much as I want to be that person, sometimes I'm just like, bro, just shut up. Like, sometimes I pull the card of like, you know what, like we were talking earlier about like a classroom rule being respect, and right now I'm not feeling very respected. Like, you know, sometimes like that's the card that you can pull, which, you know, I don't want to make it sound like that's any kind of gaslighting on the student. That's a real thing. Like if you discuss respect and the student like pulls some disrespect, I think you're within your power to be like, yo, what's up? But yeah, there's probably some very similar complexities when it comes to medicine. I'm willing to assume. Alright, how's our bird boy? Get a good look at him. There's some parts that are kind of bugging me, but maybe something like that would be better. Nah. What you hated with med school is that you basically had to sacrifice every aspect of your life outside. Ah, I see. So like the what is it? Grind culture, right? The whole culture of like, you know, you better be like utterly dedicated to this or else. I'm still not satisfied with how his little I guess widow's peak is. No, actually that's fine. That's fine. Let's see, what else can I play around with? Oh, the beak. Okay, so what else does he have? I'm gonna leave his arms, like, without jewelry. Maybe his legs, too. Yeah, I'm liking how this is going. I think I'll just edit out some tangents here. Or did that make the tangents even worse? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I like that. He looks like a goofy little guy. Actually, his eyebrows can be a little goofier. It should be like the nyoron, like a little upturned. So I wasn't meant to get in my first attempt, but I guess I was blessed with the middle of the exam or something because this school is like top 3. Oh, wow. Just your luck. Met a lot of nice people. Oh, nice. So not everything was bad. Yeah, that's what I mean. That like even if certain aspects weren't the best, you know, I feel like every experience has its own value in some way, right? I should look at the wings for reference as well. There we go. We got a basic sketch going. Let me look at... I'm going to go to my BRB screen just so I could look at another reference of this falcon. The reference is actually a Egyptian falcon called a Barbary falcon. Actually, I don't think I have to hide this part. There you go. These are the references I'm looking at. Okay, so it looks like he has darker wings. Okay, let's incorporate that. There we go. You know what? I'll just do like a bit of a gradient where like this part will be a little bit darker. Horus from Smite. I remember watching you play Smite the last time you were streaming. Let me take a look actually. Let me do that. So BRB screen. Horus Smite. Oh, cool. Okay. He's very armored. Let me copy this image. Paste it. Alright, let's take a look at this. Super armored. I definitely can't do armor that well, so I will avoid that for now. But oh yeah, like look at his like kilt thing. So it has like the like these side parts that kind of look like wings. Maybe I can do something like that. Yeah. I like the little feet part, the little like claws. Cool, and it even has like the eye shape. One cool thing about like Horus too is that like his eye is a symbol, like a pretty well known symbol in like ancient Egypt. It's like, let me draw it right here. I'm drawing it from memory, so it might not be the best, but like there's this like part over here. This like kind of big, like it kind of looks like eyeliner, but it's based off like the eagle's actual like eye design. Meow. Oh, actually, sometimes it's shortened to this, but oftentimes it's like it extends out like that. There's like variations, but like it kind of looks like this. This is like the Eye of Horus, or at least a rendition of the Eye of Horus, and like it's a pretty popular symbol in ancient Egypt, and it represents different things like wholeness, because in some myths his eye is like taken out by his evil uncle, who we will also draw on stream one day. But it can be a symbol for recovery, protection, you know, stuff like that, wholeness. But I only kind of vaguely incorporated it in here. But I kind of want to do like in his little like skirt kilt thing. I want to copy the whole thing of it looking like its wings. So let me actually play around with that. Sketch. Aw, Snackery. He's so noisy, my cat. You love the character? He was also... Oh, a dual release with Set. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, like, they have definitely one of the most interesting, like, rivalries in Egyptian mythology. But some of it is very yabe. Like, some of the mythological stories are very not safe for work. One might even say not safe for life, but... No, I guess I wouldn't go that far. I would say not safe for work, definitely, though, because it's very... No, you know what? It's not safe for life because it's also incestuous, so I'll leave it at that. I wonder if I can add stuff like that. But I think the rivalry between like Set and Horus is pretty cool in terms of like narrative and themes and stuff. And I know I said this before on stream, but I wish that Yu-Gi-Oh! I wish that the first series with Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it was based on like Egyptian stuff, I wish they delved more into like that like mythological thing, because I feel like that's what they were setting up. Seto Kaiba, Set, come on. You know, like Horus probably would be like a stand, or like Yugi and Yami Yugi or Atem would be like a stand-in for Horus. Seto Kaiba would be one for Set. They have a rivalry, you know? I feel like they could have like made it a little bit more just obvious. And I feel like there were so many good like possibilities with Yu-Gi-Oh! That like in an alternate dimension where I wrote Yu-Gi-Oh! I should just write a fan fiction. Cause like I thought, okay, back like one of my first like anime crushes after like Digimon characters was Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh! He was like one of my first anime crushes as like a middle schooler. But I thought it was pretty cool. Not even just his like evil side, but his like default regular ass side was that he's like this kind of shy kid, but he's into the occult, you know, like, but he wasn't necessarily like I guess like painfully shy. Like he could get kind of sassy if he wanted to, which like I wish we could have seen more of that. But okay, I think I'm done with the sketch for our little buddy Horace here. Actually, yeah, I added some shading. Yeah, let's see if I have enough time. How much time do I have? Yeah, I still have about 30 minutes. Technically, I have an hour, but I want to, just to be safe, I might cut it. I might call it after about 30 minutes, just so I have enough time to get ready for the gym. Today we're doing back and biceps. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this. Let me set it and forget it. Nah, I don't know why that popped in my head. All you gotta do is set it and forget it. Okay, time for some line work. It's been a while since I used this brush, though. I've been using like a smoother brush. Oh no, I don't want to have to like like using the sorry, the tool on Procreate where it can like correct shapes for you. Your first anime crush was a character from Bakugan? I remember Bakugan. Was that the not really like Beyblade, but it was something else, right? Was it like little creatures came out of them? Like it was kind of like Beyblade adjacent, where you had like the little, yeah, okay, I'm looking at it now on Google. The little balls, and then like they could turn into little creatures, or little creatures came out of them. I remember the anime. Cause like during the 2000s there was definitely that era where it was like Pokemon and everything that like people saw as like rip-offs of Pokemon. And then I feel like Bakugan was more of like a Yu-Gi-Oh, like where it was like, you know, a game system. There's some kind of system in it, like, or like more like Beyblade. Like Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh, and like Bakugan like were very similar to me. You gotta describe your crush to me, Kuriketa. Which I'm like looking at screen caps right now. Oh, there's so many characters. Yeah, let me continue with this line art. I really gotta practice my line weight. Aside from Saint Seiya, Bakugan, and Dino King. Have I heard of that one? Let me look it up. Dino King. Why did it directed me to Speckles the Tarbosaurus? Okay, it's an anime, right? Because I'm seeing something called Dinosaur King, but then when you type Dino King in Google, it directs you to like a CG movie. Blue-green haired girl Ruan? Isn't there there's also like a character named Ruan in, was it like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds or something? I am seeing a blue-haired girl. Runo? I am seeing Dinosaur King too. The protagonist has little like Triceratops horns on his head. That's pretty cute. There you go. This one I can be a little... I don't have to be as exact. because I'm going to be doing a big outline. Spanish, it was translated as Dino Ray or Dino Ray. Dinosaur King. I don't know if we ever have that in the States. The style does remind me of a lot of anime around that same time, like Bakugan. Yeah, that's like a good one. Around that time, I remember also watching Zoids, but there was like two different Zoids series happening at the same time. There was like one where it was straight up like during a war. And then one that was just more of like it wasn't even lighthearted. It was like mercenaries, but they were like in tournaments. I think one thing that was kind of cringe back then, but I am starting to like appreciate more as an adult was the dub music. Cause like here in the US, sometimes they wouldn't just like, you know, dub a series, they would also dub like the opening to it in English. And some of them super cringe. But others were bangers. And then some of them were like cringe back then, but like if you listen to it now, it's like, damn, this is a banger. I'm of course referring to the 4Kids One Piece opening. God, let me see if I can find it. And I'll probably have to like, hopefully it won't take down my entire VOD if I play it, but I just have to mute that part. Let me pause this music. Pause the chill hop. Gotta go, gotta go. Okay, I'm not gonna show it on screen, but I am gonna play it. So you're gonna hear it, and I'm probably gonna have to mute this in the VOD, but F it, we ball.
He said, once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams.
It's Seto Kaiba's voice.
From the gallows, these were the final words he said.
My fortune is yours for the taking, but you'll have to find it first. I left everything I own
in one piece.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for One Piece, the treasure that would make their dreams come true.
Yo!
Gotta go, gotta go.
Don't give it up, Luffy. Don't give it up, Solo. Don't give it up, Nami.
Don't give it up, give it up, give it up. I don't know the rap part. Grand Line, there's no doubt the pirate whose eyes on and he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king. JK, I know a little bit of it. That's Monkey D. Luffy. Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum. Solo, he's just like a samurai and an LADY, Nami's not shy. That's weird. Chopper's doctor. It's the name of the treasure. Gotta go set sail for One Piece. Oh no. I accidentally pressed play on the next song, which was like something from the Prince of Egypt. Oh, there too. Some most classic anime had translated openings. DBZ, Saint Seiya, Slam Dunk. They were bangers. Oh man, I wish that I like retained more Spanish or like learned Spanish more when I was a kid, and I grew up in like a more Hispanic Latino area. Like I'm Filipino. I'm like 100% Filipino and American. But like I grew up in areas that were like predominantly Hispanic and Latino. And I wish I had picked up more on the language as a kid because like I remember DBZ in Spanish would pop up. I had the channel for DBZ. But of course, because it was in Spanish, I didn't like. I watched it in English, but like, I kind of wish I watched it in Spanish because it just seems so iconic to so many people. Like the memes that Hako was talking about. Was it like get out of the cyber cafe? I need to cry, and it's like Vegeta. Oh my god, I feel like I said this before, but um my knowledge of DBZ is not exhaustive. Like if you were to tell me like, okay, what episode did Goku fight Frieza in? Like I wouldn't be able to say that, but it always surprises me how much I remember from DBZ. Because I remember it was also partially because as a kid I had a magazine about DBZ. And like back then, like if you didn't regularly buy books, and back then I didn't really have like ready access to the internet, so I would just read that magazine over and over. And I just remember like retaining so many things about DBZ. Like Emperor Pilaf and his assistant or his henchman Shu and Mai. If you put those names together, it's Shumai, also known as Shomai, which is like dumplings, which goes well with pilaf. And it was one of those things that helped me realize early on that all of their names are food or some kind of theme, right? Because like for Bulma's family, it's like underwear, like Buruma. And her daughter is Bra, and her son is Trunks. And her dad is Dr. Briefs. And then Gohan is just food in Japanese. It's the name of the treasure. The Latin American dub of Eva is so good. It's worth it. Asuka has a German accent in the Latin American dub? Oh man. I'm down to check that out. Maybe after stream. Oh, what am I doing? I should put the chill hop back on. There we go. They had to change name. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They had to change Gigi's name to Milk because Chi means boob. Yeah, yeah. Isn't it the same with there was a Ghibli movie where the name of the movie and the protagonist is Laputa? Like, so I'm saying it in a certain way, right? Laputa and like the castle in the sky, but they had to change it in Latin America because it's literally Laputa. It's the same with there's a rice cake in Tagalog. It's a Filipino rice cake called puto. So if you ever hear a Filipino say "I love puto," that's what they're referring to. But I'm willing to bet you probably heard that one before. Okay, all that's left is little design on his chest. Oh, it's just called Castle in the Sky. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. There was definitely one where like her name is Laputa, but you know, if you say it, if you say it not the way I said it, it's you know very obviously Laputa. Now I'm gonna look it up because I remember watching that one with my friend. Yeah, it's just called Castle in the Sky. Yeah. I remember watching it with my friends back in, I think high school. It's like one of the few times I ditched school. Which I don't know if you can call it ditching, if it's like, what, the last day of school or something. You know, like here in the States after testing is done, the days after don't really matter that much. So sometimes students will just ditch. And I think like the teachers don't really care because yeah, like after testing's done, it's not really a point. The test scores have already determined your grade, your fate. All right, let's see how it looks without the sketch. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh, my keyboard is set to Spanish. You see the Enya? Line art. Alright, let's put some colors on here. Not really a fan of Ghibli movies. Really want to watch the new movie. Oh my god, you saw that too? His voice acting is so good. I feel like he's really good, Robert Pattinson. He's really good at just being like a gremlin. Like, cause like I didn't really like. Okay, so Twilight was all the rage here when I was in high school. All the rage, and like, you know, Robert Pattinson was like the heartthrob and all of that, but like I wasn't super into Twilight. I don't want to go into my I'll give you an abbreviated version of like why I dislike Twilight, because to be honest, I'm a big fan of vampires as like a genre. I'm a really big fan, but like the vampires in Twilight are kind of wimpy to be honest. Like you know, I kind of like vampires for like the supernatural and kind of like the darker aspects, right? And like it feels like the darker aspects in Twilight aren't that dark. It's like, look at me, Bella, I'm a monster, and he's like sparkling, and it's like, really, dog? But he is a really good actor. Both him and what's Bella's actress's name? Is it Kristen Stewart? Like both of them are really good actors. It's just that like I think the script wasn't like that great. I don't know. If you're a fan, couldn't get the like. I apologize if I'm like saying slander, but I don't like it growing up. But Robert Pattinson himself is a great actor. I remember I had a phase where I was really into, well, not a phase, but like I'm really into art history, you know? And I watched a whole bunch of art history movies. Like there's a Frida Kahlo movie where Selma Hayek plays Frida Kahlo. I watched that. And immediately after, I watched a movie about Salvador Dali, who was played by Robert Pattinson. And he was pretty good in that. Yeah, Twilight. Oh, thank God. Like, yeah, I kind of... I remember watching it for the lulz. Like, I watched the first one in high school during, like, you know, sometimes at lunch, I wouldn't hang out outside. I would hang out in, like, a teacher's classroom with other people, of course. Other students, and all of us would just watch Twilight. And we were, like, no one was watching that, like, straightforwardly. Everyone was watching it to laugh at it. And then I never watched the other movies. I still have never watched the other movies other than the first one. But I've seen like YouTubers just summarize both the books and the movie series, and it seems so hilarious. Maybe not intentionally, but it seems like hilarious. You know what? Let me get a picture of that falcon again. I'm gonna copy those colors. And I want to try and do what I did with the pixel art stream, which is try to kind of eyeball the colors instead of color picking. Yeah, I'm also not the biggest fan of Twilight, but if I could watch it for the lulz, for the laughs, I would. I watched them all because I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't get the. What a painful experience. Now at least you can. It's kind of like what Randon said, right? Like at least now that you've watched it, you can confidently say that it's trash. Because like for example, Sword Art Online, I never watched it. I just like watched it through the lens of other YouTubers who all say that it's shit. But I hear from like a fair enough amount of people that like it's not necessarily shit. It's just that yeah, sometimes the logic isn't like always like the most well thought out like thing. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's just like more of like, oh, it sucks that that's what popularized isekai as a genre as opposed to like every other isekai that came before it and since then. But a part of me is like, oh, I can't really like comment on Sword Art Online because I have personally never watched it. I've just seen it through the lens of other anime YouTubers like Mother's Basement and others being like, yeah, it's shit. And I feel like that's that's not always the most fair thing. If you're gonna critique it, kind of like what Randon said, like at least now that you've like consumed the media, now you can confidently say, yeah, it's shit. Yeah, everyone says SAO is bad, and it is, but I get that. I completely get that, you know? Because, like, and that's why I said, like, I feel like I should at least watch it before, like, passing judgment, but I definitely have my guilty pleasures, and for me, it's like, I immediately thought of video games. I do have anime guilty pleasures where it's like, yeah, you know it's bad, but I still liked it. But video game, the whole franchise itself isn't bad, but there are, like, I'm just gonna say Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed, especially 2, is actually really good. A lot of the games are really good in my opinion, like Origins, Odyssey, all super good. But there are a few that are just like, oh yikes, like this is a buggy mess. Like 3 was a buggy mess, and like the ones like in between, the Ezio games and like the more modern games, some of them are not great, but I played all of them and I 100%ed a lot of them because that is my guilty pleasure and I just love it a lot. Anime though, I definitely have guilty pleasures. Let me see if I can find some right now. Let me go to Annie list. Because it's stuff that I like rated like a 2 or a 3, but it's like, yeah, but I still kind of like it. Okay, what did I put here as like my guilty pleasure? Give me the absolute trashiest of the trash. Let me see. Actually, before I keep scrolling, I have a problem with, oh, I love the openings and then I like the anime. That's why I'm a faithful defender of... Okay, Domestic Girlfriend had a banger opening, though. Is that the one that's like, there's a lot of running? And then there's a part where it, like, gets really fast? Like, or, like, the singing gets really fast? You know what? I'll say Kakegurui is like one of my guilty pleasures because like it's not bad. It's not bad, but like I remember seeing an anime YouTuber talk about how like it doesn't do stakes very well. Like if you compare it to something like Kaiji where like the stakes are very evident, like the stakes in Kakegurui are not as like terrible. But I still like Kakegurui because of the faces, like the psycho like Gesugao faces. It's so fun. What else? What else? Actually, not a lot of these are like guilty pleasures. Some of them are just like good. Elfen Lied, I'd say, is a guilty pleasure. It's so like grimdark, violence. It's so like baby's first, edgelord anime. But I like it. Yeah. No, that's completely correct, Kuraketa. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, are there even girls in Kaiji? I know there is. There's like the one girl that is like in one of the ending scenes, but you're completely correct. Kakegurui has the hot girls. But I also, yeah, like Kaiji also does stakes really well. And just the story, it's just so good. It's so good. The Kakegurui, man, it has the girls, it has the cute girls, it has the psycho faces, it has them just being like kind of dumb. But I love it. Ah, no, I forgot some parts. Let's do gold next. Do a gold color. Alright, I'm gonna mute for a second. Alright, I'm back. Just discussing whether or not we're going to the gym today. We still are going to the gym. So. My other guy, Mirai Nikki, yes! Yes! Kuraketa so based. That is such a guilty pleasure. Because it's so, like... It's also because it has a yandere in it. And that's another thing. Like, yanderes are a definite, like, guilty pleasure. Like when I was like in my 20s, it was a more genuine, like I just like yandere as like a trope. And then nowadays it's more of like yikes. Yikes on the yard. This is not good. This is not healthy. This is very toxic. But it has since evolved into like a guilty pleasure instead of just like an outright like I like this. Now it's like, ooh, I would not want that IRL. But it's kind of fun to watch. And I also kind of like Mirai Nikki for its depiction of like yanderes because Kuraketa or anyone else in chat, have y'all heard of Yandere Simulator? It's pretty infamous, but it's like I also feel like it could also be fairly niche, but that one game that's been in development for like almost 10 years, Yandere Simulator. One of my biggest problems with that, other than like the creator just being like a gigantic, like yikes on the yard type of dude, just super problematic, super toxic, that kind of thing. One of my biggest things with like Yandere Simulator itself is the depiction of the yandere, because like for me, I kind of like, I don't know, tell me if you agree or disagree. I kind of like the idea of a yandere being like, she has the mask of being just a well-adjusted person. You still want it IRL? Couldn't get the. Oh no. Would. But anyway. Oh, that's funny. Like an IRL yandere, can you imagine? But no, that's just kind of toxic. But what was I saying? So yandere simulator, they depict the yandere, like the main girl, as like she's more of a kudere. Like she's more like emotionless, and like that's her true self, that she's just emotionless, but she also has this drive to like kill for the sake of her senpai, the person that she loves. Whereas like, I don't know, my preference is something more like where like she has the mask of, yeah, oh my god, yes, good at that, you get me. Had potential but too many basic things wrong, yeah. But for me, I just prefer the kind of yandere where it's like, her mask is that she's like a regular ass person. Like, not a regular ass person, but you know what I mean? That she's like student president, she's popular, she's like sociable, she like has her shit together, but like deep down inside, she's like, she's kind of a freak. Like I dislike that the yandere and yandere simulator is essentially just a kudere. but like also a sociopath. But that's just my personal gripe. That's just my personal like preference. That's my opinion. So I don't know if any fans come at me. That's just like my opinion, man. Actually, I don't like how Horus is now flesh colored. He needs to be more of like a sandy color. So maybe less saturation? Yeah, I think I like that a little bit better. A little bit more yellow so he doesn't look straight up like flesh. Yeah, I was following Yandere Simulator for like a good while, and I thought it had a lot of potential. But once he started focusing more on Easter eggs than like the actual game, that's when I was starting to like, why do you have like a COVID-chan or like a Ebola-chan but not like basic ass gameplay, you know? That's just like my opinion. Okay, so what am I doing now? I think I need like a deep blue. Don't know if you're familiar with this manga. My 100 Girlfriends I really like. It's doing all the girl tropes and it's so fun. I've heard of it. I think, like I said, I watch anime YouTubers like Mother's Basement, Giguk, Super Eye Patch Wolf. I watch them, and they usually do some kind of like, oh, this is the anime that I watched or that I'm planning to watch for like this season. And I believe, I want to say Mother's Basement talked about the 100 Girlfriends one. He also said that it's pretty fun. If you're telling me that there's a yandere girl in that, sign me the fuck up. Hey, where did I oh, the Zuby rabbit. Sign me the fuck up. Uh-huh. I still gotta check out Zom 100. They also recommended that one. That one also looks very fun. Actually, let me go down the list. Which other yandere girls did I did I like? Okay, here's another like mini rant. Higurashi, I love Higurashi so much, but the only yandere in that show, I want to say, for the most part, is Shion. Everyone else is Yangire, right? Like, because yandere is you're doing it for the sake of love. Yangire is that not just like they just went insane? So the only one, like, or at least I guess maybe there's later arcs where Rena goes like crazy out of love, but for the most part, it's just Shion. Go got the blue. Let's get some white. No, I did it in the same layer. There you go. Yeah, let's get some white. And around his eyes will be more black. And I'll do this part white as well. And you know what? I think this part of his little, like, loincloth will be this blue. Kotonoha from School Day. Oh my god, nice boat. I love how Axel references that like every so often. that infamous scene. I remember like actually going through the trouble of watching all of School Days when I was like in my 20s. Cause I was like so curious as to like what was the buildup? Why why did she go crazy like that? And then like only after, because I think I was exposed to like the ending of the, because it started out as like a, is it a visual novel or not visual novel, like a otome, a dating sim, right? And then like there's like animated endings, and I saw those first, followed by the ending to the anime, and then I was like curious as to like, okay, so what actually leads up to this? And then I watched it and I was like, okay, he definitely deserved that. He like 100% deserved the stabbing. But yeah, I love that Axel will occasionally just like reference the ending where he's scrolling on his phone, and then doesn't she say like, "I'm sorry," and then he gets stabbed, and then the music starts playing. Is it the one with like Kanashimi wo oh, you know what? This eye has a line and the other line does not. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, it's an okay. Yeah, I never played the game. I just saw the anime, but it is essentially like an okay in disguise. God, the 2000s in terms of anime were absolutely wild. Now that I'm remembering. Did that? Oh, no. Maybe that? Okay. Because I want to put black on the beak. Cool. Okay. Oh, so we need some black also. Right here. Oops. No, those are feathers. But steel's heavier than feathers. No, all of my favorite yandere from all time. Sengoku from Monogatari. Wait, Sengoku? Was she the cat? It's been a minute. Monogatari. Yeah. No, she was a snake girl. She was a snake girl. God, I remember the animation for Monogatari was like so oh my god, I'm just remembering like the scene where the cat girl licks I already forgot his name, the main character's like neck, and it just spurts out bleeding. Like I remember seeing that animation for the first time and being like, whoa, what the fuck? I think I need some red to balance this out, and I know I just color picked, but let me see how this goes. This is supposed to be red. Oh, you know what? The bowling pin, the crown for Upper Egypt, is also supposed to be white. Studio Shaft, yeah, the Studio Shaft pose, still one of my favorites. The Madoka Meguka is suffering. The you know what I mean, right? The Studio Shaft pose where it's like the character looking back. That's just iconic. How much time do I have? Oh, I still have a good amount of time. No, wait, I don't. Okay, let me finish putting the colors down, and then I might have to call it soon so that I can get ready for the gym. White. Let's do white. Oh, I accidentally... Oh, whatever. They're not touching, so they can be on the same layer. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna end off with the flat colors. And we'll call it. Alright, let me separate these two layers. Make that its own layer. Yeah, what happens if I make the eyes red? So eyebrows. Pink syrup. Let me just erase some parts. I might change it to more of a gray, but for now, let's play around a little. Let's experiment. And then, little finishing touch, smidge of white. Alright, I might change around the colors a little bit, but I think I am gonna have to call it here so I have some time to prepare for the gym. Let's see. I'm gonna ignore that they did all the... That's right, they did do the Ruby anime. I haven't checked that out yet. I haven't checked that out yet. I'm gonna check it out after though. But alright, so here is our preliminary Horus, the sky god of the sky, the falcon-headed sky god, son of Osiris. I'm probably gonna adjust some of the colors before I post it on Twitter, but yeah, let's go ahead and call it there. Let me see who I can raid into. Let me stop raids. Let me go into my outro screen. But thank you for everyone that was able to drop by and chat. As always, good to get the love the banter. Same with Beans and Mega Bronson. I think you're probably still streaming, so I'm probably gonna, if you're still streaming, I'm gonna raid into you. Let's see who I have. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and stream into Mega Bronson, my friend who is usually in chat. But yeah. Tomorrow I was not gonna do a stream because I had a family thing, but the family thing got canceled. So I will be seeing y'all tomorrow with a tarot reading stream, another one. So I'll also announce it on Twitter, or I'll re-announce it. I already announced it, but I'll do it again on Twitter. But otherwise, thank you once again, and as always, I'll see ya when I see ya. Have a good one. Let me start the raid. Thank you, Kuriketa. Let's start that raid.